Go Junghun was known as an ancient language expert in Daimyong. He also had a 7-year-old named Jin Yong. When Jin Yong entered his father's study and saw his father wrestling with smelly books, he couldn't say that he liked his father's profession. Hanging out with his father was something Jin Yong couldn't even think about. But whenever he was able to spend time with his father would talk about Jin Yong's mother with a glass of alcohol in his hand. Despite the smell of drinks, Jin Yong didn't dislike his time with his father.
Yong, do you miss your mother?
I do. But it's okay because you are here with me. Many kids lost their fathers during the war, including Ho Kin or Wang Ho next door. I'm okay with only you, Father.
Thank you for saying that.
Hello, is anyone home? Shouted someone from outside. Yes, just wait a moment. Great uncle, said the boy excitedly.
Ho ho, Yong. How have you been? I see that you have been reading a book.
I have. How have you been? How is Aunt doing?
Aha, if a 7-year-old asked me that question, how am I supposed to reply to that?
In the past, that was an old enough age to get married, was it not?
Ha ha, you little one. If only our son was half as smart as you.
In the evening, the two brothers had dinner and discussed business.
So, you want me to translate the ancient characters from that golden board. Is that correct?
Go Yonghyun asked.
You're right. To be honest, none of the scholars from the ministry are as knowledgeable as you. In addition, His Highness himself is very interested in this job. This is a very good opportunity.
But I have yet to finish my research on the artifacts that I've been working on for over a decade now.
There are only 3 boards. With your skill, you can finish it within a couple of days.
I understand your standing, but you also have to think about Yong's future as well, right?
Researching artifacts is important as well, but how many years have you already wasted on that? I know you've run out of money and cut down on food. You even have debts here and there. Just think about Yong's future and let go of your artifacts and focus on the golden boards, okay?
Go Junghyun thought about it and said he agreed. Jin Yong heard the conversation and was upset. The next day, before he left, his father said that he was going away for a short time and that Jin Yong should behave well and not cause any problems for the nanny. The boy replied that he would be obedient. Then the father said goodbye and set off. The boy was waiting for his father to return that very evening. He looked at the road waiting for his father to appear, but he did not. He sighed and went into the house, where he noticed the room where his father was working. He became curious. Jin Yong quietly entered and could not contain his surprise. Wow, there are so many books. That painting. If I'm remembering it correctly, then behind this drawing is, I knew it. This is the staircase that leads to where my father keeps his artifacts. I guess it wouldn't hurt to take a peek, right? Jin Yong was a little afraid to come in at first, but his curiosity won out. So he opened the door, and there was no end to his excitement. He saw strange things that looked unusual, and things from the West. Then he saw a familiar box, and realized that it contained the artifacts his father had been working on. And without a shadow of a doubt, he looked in. Inside were some strange pieces of cane, a book written in an incomprehensible language. At the very bottom, Jin Yong found an octagonal token with a scary face. And the boy decided to put it back, and when he was closing the box, he tripped over splinters of wood. The boy's blood got on the token, and it glowed green, as if it had come to life. Huh? Ha! Jin Yong shouted. The token began to glow even more intensely. The rays of light reached the boy and blinded his eyes, and then the light entered Jin Yong, lifting him into the air. As the light moved from the token to the boy, the token fell, and so did Jin Yong, and the child closed his eyes. It was evening when Jin Yong finally regained consciousness. He got up and couldn't remember what had happened. Then he closed the box and realized that he was very scared, so he had to get out of here as soon as possible. But suddenly, he heard a voice laughing. The boy did not understand who it was or what it was. He ran to the exit in a panic, but suddenly his head hurt, as if someone wanted to get into it. His arms stopped working. The whole body stopped obeying the boy.
Angdeza Sajia,
The voice said. The boy struggled to free himself from the force holding him down. Jin Hong begged for his body to be left free, and suddenly a blue dome appeared over the boy. The things in the room flew up and came down again. The boy realized that he was relieved. His hands belonged to him again, and he ran to the exit.
Dastne Inari,
The mysterious voice said. Jin Hong realized that something was following him. Every step was very difficult, but the boy realized that he had to stay calm. He just had to keep walking, not looking back, and not give in to fear. Calmness and strength of mind are all he needs.
What's happening? I thought I'd transfer to this little kid and take over his body and soul, but I can't control this bastard's body. I'm sure my father used some kind of trick when he sealed me. It can't be helped. I'll have to go with the next best option, even if it takes some time.
Thought the mysterious creature, at night, when it was time to go to bed. The boy could not calm down and thought, I don't hear the sounds from earlier anymore. Did it disappear? And heard back.
I didn't. What's your name?
Well, what the heck? Again?
You've awakened me, Sertan, from my slumber. Tell me your name!
What? I don't want to! But when the boy saw the creature, he was afraid and said, No, I won't tell you.
No? Your name is No?
The next morning, Jin Yong sat upset. His nanny saw that he was powerless and tired. She wanted to know what was wrong, but the boy just said he needed to rest. The nanny advised him not to read too many books and to get some good sleep. Jin Yong realized that if he told the truth, no one would believe him.
No, where is this place? The air here is very different from where I used to live. Is the woman from before your servant, huh? No.
Oh, come on. I told you my name is not No. Can't you be quiet, you Chwertan?
My name is Sertan, not Chwertan. The great warrior of the mighty demon world, Certan.
Stop joking around. If I'm No, then you're Chwertan, okay? Chwer Tan. And the voice disappeared again. It was time for dinner. The nanny did her best, and the food was great. While Jin Yong was eating, he thought that he hadn't heard the voice for a long time. Had it finally disappeared?
How did you know?
Know what?
That my nickname was Chwertan. I'm asking you, how did you know the nickname I was called by in the demon world?
Your name just sounds like, but what on earth is the demon world?
What? It's the demon world that is in between the holy world and the human world. The human world was formed last. They needed a middle ground for the desires of the two worlds. If you think about it, it's a world that shouldn't have been formed.
What? So in order to settle the ideological war between the demon and holy worlds, they formed the human world?
That's right, you're so smart, no?
But how can I trust what Chwertan says? Jin Yong thought, and got an answer right away.
I already told you no, I'm not Chwertan.
Shut up, I'm not No either. Suddenly, Jin Yong realized something and started laughing out loud. The demon began to ask what had happened, and the boy answered, It's just that. I know what Chwertan means if you write it in Hanja. It means to sob while singing, ha ha.
No, how did you know of my ability? I'm asking you how you knew that my ability is to use the drive them to madness while they cry?
I don't know. I'm going to sleep, so be quiet, Chwertan. The boy answered and fell into a deep sleep. The demon tried to shout to the boy, but he did not respond.
What an interesting kid. He's quite curious and quick to understand things. Wait, what kind of thoughts am I having right now? Why am I feeling such useless attachment towards this villainous child? Just watch. One day I'll take control of your body and do whatever it takes to make it back to the demon world.
The boy was no longer afraid of the demon and therefore talked to him. Demons usually live for about 5,000 years, but Chwertan, if you lived for 1,000 years, it's like dying at age 10 instead of 50 in human years. Then, since we're both 10 years old, you should be my friend.
What? No way!
But the conversation was interrupted by the nanny, who said that his father had returned. Go Jung-hun asked if anything out of the ordinary had happened. The boy replied that everything was fine. He realized that if he told him about the demon, his father would realize that he had gone to the dungeon with the artifacts. The father was satisfied with the answer and asked if Jin Yong had studied literacy diligently. The boy, of course, said yes. Then Go Jung-hun said that he had some urgent business in the research room and let the boy go.
No, what was that? Is the person whom you call your father usually that unaffectionate?
The demon asked, but the boy told him to shut up. Meanwhile, Go Jung-hyun quickly went to the house, rejected the picture, and walked down the stairs. He walked confidently, knowing that he would be in danger after he returned to the imperial palace to finish his research. And before that happens, he needs to write down everything he remembers. And he was right.
Sangwang, Your Highness, you called for me?
Is it true that you let Go Jung-hun go back home?
Ah, yes, Your Majesty. He said that there was an important document there. I allowed it just this one time.
What? What are you going to do if the contents of the research are leaked?
Sangwang, Your Highness, do not worry. It hasn't even been 10 days since he started his research. And how many scholars have quit in the middle thus far? He has yet to properly understand the meaning of it as well.
No, prepare for any possibility. As soon as he comes back and finishes the research, he and everyone connected to his family. Eliminate them all!
Ended the conversation Sangwang. It was already evening in Daimayong, and Go Jung-hyun began to prepare to leave. He packed his things and turned to his son.
If I go back now, I'd probably have to devote myself to research for a month. Whether you receive good news, bad news, or no news at all, you don't have to worry. Stay safe.
And Go Jung-hun walked away. But a surprise was waiting for him on the street. The people waiting for the professor said they had to escort him. The stranger introduced himself as Yuk Dugam of the embroidered uniform guard. The boy realized that it was the Imperial Army. The father did not lose his temper and turned to the boy again.
Yong, I've said this before, but you can't fall behind on your studies. It's been a year since I gave you 9 volumes of literature books, so you must have already read them all. Then this time go read the 3rd volume. That's right, the 3rd volume. Keep that in mind. I'll give you a test when I get back.
The guards said it was time to go, but expressed surprise that such a young boy could already read. Jin Yong was stunned and thought, "What the heck? Father, what are you saying? I already finished reading them 2 years ago, but you're asking me to read the 3rd volume again. All of a sudden, why in the world? Why would you say that?" Time passed. The sun set and rose. One day, Jin Yong sat outside listening to the rain and waiting, but there had been no news from his father for a month. He decided to go back inside when he saw 2 figures watching him. They were the guards. The boy realized that something was wrong.
No, what are you saying?
Chwertan, something's wrong. It's like they're monitoring our house.
Are you talking about those soldiers? I don't know. I think I've felt their energy before. It started around the day your father arrived. I've been sensing them ever since.
What? Were you not going to tell me?
Well, I didn't really know it was strange.
Ah, right. I was told to read the 3rd volume. It might have been a secret code that my father left for me. The book is found it, huh? But the 3rd volume isn't here. Where did it go? Did I miscount? I've looked for it for 3 hours already. Why can't I find it?
Nay, no. I'm sorry to disturb you, but I think there's a place where you haven't searched yet.
And Jin Yong immediately guessed which place the demon was talking about. The underground basement. Of course, the experience of the last time he was here was a bit scary, but the boy overcame himself and confidently went in search of the book. He looked closely and saw it on the table. I found it! So this is where it was!
No, what are those writings on the table?
Oh, these letters are... What? What is this? I can't figure it out at all.
No, let's look at the third volume.
All right. Why did my father... Oh, there's something written on this page. What? In reverse. And 4 words. Mom, animal, power, 3. Maybe if I put the order in reverse, what does that mean?
Hey, no, what are you doing?
I think I've got it.
What is it? How did you figure it out? Tell me as well.
Later, I saw them at the entrance while we were passing by. Among these animals, my mother liked the turtle that was born in the sea. For your information, only my father and I know that I'm left-handed. It's a lot stronger than my right hand. So if I turn this turtle statue to the left 3 times, the boy did all the manipulations and suddenly heard the sound of the door opening. Oh my God! There was a secret room in the basement. These are records of my father's research. And these documents in the middle are for me? The paper said that Go Jung-hyun regretted going to the palace. He deciphered most of the plaques, but he is not going to share the contents. The boy looked at the documents left by his father. What the heck? These characters are...
Oh, interesting. Aren't these runes?
What are runes?
Runes are magic formulas.
What's magic?
Listen well. Magic has the ability to use mana to change the properties of nature and its atmosphere. It could split the ocean in half or even hurl thunderbolts. What's more, you could fly while riding a broom, turn into a mouse, or even call upon spirits of nature like you would with a bell.
In that case, does Chwertan also know how to use magic? Can't you teach me a bit of magic? How about it, Chwertan? Meanwhile, the boy's uncle was hurrying as fast as he could to get him out of the house. Jin Yong and the demon continued their discussion. Can't you do the opposite and inject the runes into my head?
I could, but why?
What do you mean, Chwertan? We are 2 minds sharing the same body. Shouldn't I know the same things you do?
But still, that's...
Could it be that the mighty warrior of the demon world can't actually do it?
What did you say? Fine, but you must prepare yourself.
And then the boy felt as if his head was splitting. Light was pouring out of his eyes. But it was over quickly. Only his head hurt. The demon did not believe it would work, because it takes time to learn a language. But the boy looked at the runes and was able to read them immediately. He studied them carefully, reading every sign. The demon realized that the boy was definitely unusual. When Jin Yong finished reading the runes on the wall, he started to read other documents, and something there scared him. The demon could not understand the reason, and the boy did not answer. Suddenly, Jin Yong said, "Great, now how about you teach me a bit of magic, huh?"
I already told you earlier that I can't. The ways of the demon world are forbidden.
Why, huh? You could just teach me some simple fundamental magic, can't you? The demon world won't even be monitoring us all the time. Please teach me.
Fine, I'll teach you, but I don't know about human magic.
Hey, you said you were the mighty warrior of the demon world. Don't you know anything?
Our magic powers are greater than mere humans.
You said you'd teach me, and yet...
But I could teach you one magic used in the demon world. It's the finger of fantasy. It's magic that spreads out from your fingers. For example, you could split the ground in half. But if you overuse this magic incorrectly, besides mana, the energy in your body would also flow out of your fingertip. You might even die. That's why, if possible, you should use this spell only once a day.
Suddenly, someone from upstairs called out to the boy. Jin Yong recognized him. It was his uncle. He quickly ran out of the room and the door slammed behind him. While he was going upstairs, his uncle kept calling him and calling him. He was very agitated. His face was panicked. When he saw the boy, he said that they had to run away and that his father had been captured and taken to the palace. Jin Yong could not believe what he was saying. The uncle said that he only knew that the contents of the slabs of stone that the boy's father had interpreted were false. And now the king was furious. Jin Yong was shocked, but his uncle continued to insist that they run away as fast as possible. The boy did not understand why. So his uncle explained that if the royal family persecutes someone, they persecute the whole family. Most likely, the embroidered uniform guard is on its way here. and the three of them ran to the back door to leave the house. But as soon as the uncle opened the gate, a spear was stuck in his shoulder. The gate was slowly opening, and the guards were holding a spear with blood on it. And Jin Yong rushed to his uncle to check on him. The man who entered the courtyard said in a rude tone that no one would leave the house. The boy looked at his uncle, who was in pain, and he screamed with hatred, "How dare you hurt my uncle!" And he put his index finger in front and added, "Finger of